For nearly a decade, Netflix had the luxury of being unbothered in its market. It grew and grew to the company it is today. Content creators, which are today Netflix's competitors, were more than happy back then to have their content on Netflix's platform. It's safe to say this era is all but gone, and we are entering an era many tout as the content wars. The page has turned, and in this chapter, it seems Netflix has its back against the wall. As competitors inch closer and closer, one company, Disney, is one we think can overtake Netflix. Maybe not right away, but in the next half decade or so, we'll see things unravel. So here are 3 reasons why we think Disney will come out on top of this thing. Number 1, content kings. Netflix is starting to lose out on a lot of content, and its response to this is to push out more of its original content. They have to bet heavily that this content will stick. Disney has history on its side. Any movie with a superhero usually belongs to Disney, and the name itself, Avengers, Star Wars, etc., pretty much guarantees views and traction. A coming example will be Netflix missing out on Captain Marvel. This is a huge blow as it is highly anticipated to be a hit. Could this be the beginning of the Netflix ship showing signs of cracking? Now you may be thinking to yourself, but Netflix's original content is amazing, but is it? For every banger show that they put out, there are a number of TV shows or movies that are huge losses. Let's not forget, an estimated 80% of Netflix subscribers don't even watch original content at all. In the last couple of years, Netflix has literally pushed out nearly 100 titles. Which brings us to our second point, financials. Netflix has been spending a lot on these titles as well. Here's their content spending over the years. Its most recent figure in 2018 had them spend $19.28 billion. When we compare Netflix to Disney from a financial perspective, Disney is a bigger company and better company in terms of profits and in terms of diversification. Whereas Netflix has to rely solely on its streaming service, for Disney, this is just a piece of the puzzle. Because they have their content that are constantly hits in the theater, but they also have merchandise and their theme parks. All these are levers Disney can pull on to remain profitable. And this also means that Disney can undercut Netflix in terms of pricing. Attractive content at a lower price seems compelling. Furthermore, Disney doesn't have to get it right immediately. Because their business is diverse, they are still in the experimental stages, whereas Netflix needs to show their shareholders quarter after quarter, year after year, that they are in the lead on this thing. So this puts them in a sticky situation. As the competition continues to get more fierce, do they ease off the gas pedal in terms of content spending? That may help with the debt issue, but it makes their content and platform look weaker in a time where it needs to be at its best. Or do they continue spending, which creates financial problems for the company? Their business is cash flow negative, and it has been for many years. Speaking of competition, it's something I mentioned in my first point, that Netflix has had the luxury of not really having to deal with up until this point. The TV industry has been catching on to the promising prospects of streaming. The shape of the industry in terms of costs has kind of followed a horseshoe shape. Initially, there was a ton of cost savings associated with this. People would opt for Netflix, they'd pay $10 or $15 a month, and they could cut their cables. But now all these different content distributors are making their own streaming service. Whereas Disney has throughout its company history been one that's always been competing, I'm not sure if this is in Netflix's DNA. We are entering a new era. And Disney winning the battle may not be about Disney at all. Disney is set out to be a majority shareholder in Hulu. With their acquisition of Fox, it now has them at about a 60% ownership of Hulu. Disney CEO Bob Iger has told investors the strategy is to make Hulu its SVOD platform for adult targeted premium programming, while Disney Plus is aimed to be at kids and families. Iger also said that Disney is expecting to expand Hulu internationally. Hulu has been experiencing some rapid growth, similar to the growth Netflix was experiencing in its infant days. They added 8 million subscribers in the last year or so, and their subscriber count now is at 25 million. With Hulu expanding internationally, paired with Disney Plus, it serves as a double-barrel shotgun in what seems that up to this point has been simply a knife fight. Can Netflix keep up? only time will tell. But their days at being alone as the king of the castle may very well be gone.